There we go. People under the age of 21, please go one way or the other. I'll see you when you get old enough. Not my rules. You can blame YouTube. And I'm apologetic. Let's see here. My channel. Alright, let's share. Tweet. Put it out as a direct tweet to Twitter. Okay, well, let's see what we can do here. All right, get rid of that. Back to this. Howdy, y'all. Voodoo here. Just a real quick, not gonna smoke, just gonna send this out. This is what happens when not everybody is able to join in. I start sending out messages. Hey, join us at these times. So this is what's been going on so far this week. Eric Weaver, he put out 2 live videos already. He starts sometimes about 9 o'clock, sometimes as late as about 10 o'clock. That would be Central Time for him. Those are in the AM. And if you're looking for him, that is going to be C Smoke Pipes. All one word. You can pretty well find it on YouTube channel. I know that I did. It's pretty easy to find. Alright, so this is Wednesday. Let's see. It's a good possibility that you can be catching the Pipe Nook, Mr. Eddie Gray. We also call him Dr. Eddie Graybo. He said he's going to be trying to get his live shows in on Wednesday. I don't know a definite time on that. Please start looking for that. That's going to be a good show for everybody to have. Alright. Then there is, of course, the... We're going to start calling it the Tailgate Show. And I'm not going to start putting numbers on it. We're just going to call it the Tailgate Show because that's what it is. That's my channel right here. If you found me already, you already know where I'm at. Go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button because I'm going to be making more videos like this that we can kind of keep our community together. But what we want to do there is we want to make sure that people have a place to sit around while we're waiting for Mike on Thursdays. So on Thursday, if you know what time Mike's starting, I'm going to be starting about an hour earlier. We're going to call it about, let's see, he starts at about 6:45. I try to get on at about 5:30. That's Central Time. So it would be about 6:30 on the East Coast. So for me, it's a good show. That's just one of those hang out, chat with friends. Let's converse and talk about, hey, this is what's going on. We want to make sure that people can get in and do what they need to do. Just kind of is what it is. Alright, right after that show is Mike's normally 2-hour, sometimes 3-hour show. That would be on Briar Blues. All one word, and I believe it's all lowercase. Go ahead, get in there, sub Briar Blues. He's somewhere above 7,000, so if you're watching his show on a regular basis, you already know this. If you've never seen his show before, you need to get in there, and you need to start thinking about making a VR. Now, that VR needs to be about somebody else's show. Don't be crazy and put mine in there. I'm just the waiting spot. I'm the lounge act. So what we're doing there is you're going to make a VR to Briar Blues about his 7,000 sub GAW, or GAW as we like to call them. Mike's putting out a beautiful Sea Rock worth about $400 American. As he's putting this out, if you make a VR, you're entered to win. But, you know, sub the channel. You're going to like it. It's got a lot of good advice on pipes and really just good advice for life. Luckily, he's an older gentleman out of Canada. So, he's really easy to like. Heck, if you can't like him, there's probably something wrong with you. Just saying. Not trying to push his channel any, but it's a good show. Now, if he runs only about 2 hours, I'll probably come on for about an hour afterwards and do a cool down show, or, you know, the tailgate after the show. Just hanging out, finishing up a pipe, doing what we like to do. So then we move on to Fridays. Now again, Eric Weaver from Sea Smoke Pipes might be doing his show in the morning. So let's look at that if you have time. Again, that'll be sometime around 9 to 10 o'clock his time. So he's Central Time. That should be right at around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't really have a specific date that he does it. He just does his shows. He jumps in, throws his shows up there, and that's where it goes. It's a good time though, and you get to learn a lot about making a pipe. It's always a good time. So Fridays, we've again got my show again for tailgating. But this time we're tailgating in front of Chad. So that show should start at about 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Now, I'm trying to give y'all Eastern Standard Time. Most people can convert that pretty easily. Hey, it's Todd Arnold. Howdy, Todd. All right. So my show starts at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. I hang out, we kick it around, smoke a little, get ourselves nice and ready to start chatting with Chad. Now, Chad's show comes on, and it is a monster 3-hour show. And when I say monster, that's not scary monster, that's... Have you ever seen someone do a 3-hour show? To talk for roughly 3 hours? That's a brutal hit. And he does it so well that you don't really notice that you burned up 3 hours. Come in when you can, chat when you can. If you're wondering where Chad's channel is, that is Yardism. At Yardism on YouTube, and you can also find him on Twitter. Also, you can find Mike on Twitter. That would be Briar Blues. It's a good place to keep in touch with these people because they might be throwing stuff out there. Speaking of which, Chad recently did, that's Chad at Yardism, recently did his first ever live album of the year for 1987. It was a wonderful show. Runs about an hour and 15 minutes. You might want to check that out. Actually, his whole series on music is wonderful. Can't recommend it highly enough. Now, it is rock, so if you're into country, you're probably going to want to maybe think about copying it and doing your own country show. I wouldn't mind. I'll listen. You'll hear me comment. Believe me, I'll be there. Just let me know where it is. I'll show up for it. And then, let's see. So Chad does his 3-hour show. And his show is directly in front of Cainrod. Cainrod Piper. His real name is Mike. That is a second Mike. Mike does his show. Often he has call in from somebody else. I believe last week it was Mel, Garbage Man Piper. If you don't know Mel, it's time to find Garbage Man Piper. If you do know Mel, you already know Sweet Chicken Baby. Anyways, Cainrod Pipes got a great show. Comes on for an hour, hour and a half. It depends upon how well it's going. Sometimes he runs a little long, sometimes not. But the show is pretty fantastic. It's got great interviews, lots of good talk, lot of people. So if you like a big crowded room and you like to be able to chat with people, it's a good location to meet. And then right after Mike's, that's Cainrod Piper's show, we all migrate over to Over a Pipe. Now, Over a Pipe is Martin. He doesn't have a Twitter. I wish he did, but he doesn't. But it is one of the hardest working shows to ever hit YouTube. This man puts in so much time and effort on his show, it's ridiculous. And unfortunately, sometimes it blows up in his face. And things crash, and it's glorious. But you'll get to meet his son and the garage door, and a lot of us hardcore pipers are going to be there. Right now, we're really trying to push his channel, because if he gets 40 people in chat, he's giving away the better portion of a discontinued blend, which is Frog Morton on the Bayou. Why would you want Frog Morton on the Bayou? Well, let's just say it's one of those that if we could get the people who made the blend to come back into business, let's just say we beg for it. It's one of those you might only get to try it once, but he's given away the better portion of a tin. He only opened it up 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's got it jarred up to keep it nice and fresh. But it's a real fun time. It's a great way to end your Friday night. Hard to believe that he's doing what he's doing on that show, and sometimes the technical difficulties are epic, and it's funny. Just, you got to go in and believe that it's a comedy act, and it's going to be a great time, and you probably are going to have a really good time. So they've got a call-in line on that. Oh yeah, jokes don't get any better. There's going to be dad jokes. There's going to be a toy segment with his son. But his show is really, really good. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have half as many people as it should. All right, so that would be Friday. On to Saturday. Saturday about noon Central, so that'd be 1 o'clock Eastern. That's going to be Steph and Skip Kane. Now, Steph and Skip Kane do about an hour. They often do music and they chat. It's a wonderful little chat. It's one of the only shows where you will see two people in front of the camera, so there's a lot of back and forth for them. They are a wonderful couple to get to know. Can't recommend them enough. Their show is still pretty new, so not a lot of people in there. If you don't like a real huge crowd, it gets about 20 people, about. I think it should be more, but it could be the time, or it just could be that not too many people know about Steph and Skip Kane. Now that is at Steph and Skip Kane. Okay. Quite honestly, if you're looking for them on YouTube, just type in Steph, that's STEPH, and the word and, Skip. It ought to take you pretty close to Steph and Skip Kane, and it shouldn't be too hard to find them from there. And then later that evening, around 6 o'clock Central, so 7 o'clock on the East Coast, you're going to find Simon. Now, that's London Calling with Simon, and I believe that his channel is still London Calling with Simon. He's over in England. If you like a good English accent and a real nice show that moves along well, that's going to be the show for you. And that's going to, again, be about 7 o'clock on the East Coast time. I saw that he is back online. The last couple of weeks, Mike has filled in for him, and to make sure that people could catch his show a little easier, I was throwing an extra tailgate in there for him. I haven't really discussed doing that for Simon. I wouldn't mind doing it, but I want to make sure he's okay with me putting a tailgate show in before his show. And it runs around 2 hours, maybe a little longer. It's a wonderful show and a great way to end off your Saturday. As far as Sunday, just in case you're really, really needing to have a little bit of church, you might want to check out Padre Piper. If you contact Padre Piper, he actually does do a live broadcast from his church. And I know with this COVID thing going on, it might be a little difficult for you to get out and about. And if you're just needing some time with God, it might be the place that you would want to visit. Great guy, excellent speaking voice. He does a real quick hour and a half show. It's not going to be any pipe smoking on that, but I want to give y'all the heads up, because these are all people who are on the YTPC, and all of us, I do mean all of us, we all want you to join in and come visit these shows. Now, what I've discussed here is the live shows. There are hundreds every week that put out a short little video. Hit on those. Follow them. Give them some love. Could be you find just what you're looking for. Anyways, I've been on here for about 20 minutes, and I only intended to go about 15, so I'm going to drop off of here. Glad y'all could make it in. Of course, anybody who's looking at Fat Little Morgan, or Little Fat Morgan, That's Todd Arnold, our good friend. Appreciate you showing up, brother. It is wonderful having you along today. As per always, definitely want y'all to make sure to take care and take care of one another as best you can. As always, this is Voodoo, and I'm gonna say it like I always do. Long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I'll see you soon. And I'm out.